Of course, we know that if we are going to fulfill God's will, sacrifices will be demanded of us. Look at the great sacrifices Jesus made to fulfill his Father's will. The sacrifice to the summit of the cross. And if we really love, true love is willing to make those sacrifices. So if we really love God, then we're willing to make those sacrifices, to make those acts of renunciation, to give up the pleasures and the convenience and whatever to line myself with God's will. So if I love him, I'm able to make the sacrifices. So these are the three aspects that help us to grow in this sanctity. The first one, as we said, to look at God in faith, to see him behind everything. Nothing separated from God. And then to ask, what is your message for me? Secondly, to speak with God in love, talking about prayer, communicating, speaking, listening. The third, to be able to make sacrifices. To see, when I recognize this as God's will, it might demand something very hard of me, that I'm willing and able to make the sacrifice out of my love for God. So in summary, the Blessed Mother says to us, this sanctification I demand of you. God must again become the king and ruler of the universe in our secularized time. Only our serious striving for sanctity can transform this secular world into a sacred world and restore the sacredness of life. So when we look at our world and we don't like what we see and we know we need to change something, one of the most effective ways you and I can help to make that change, instead of sitting back and complaining and being upset about it, is to do something. And the greatest thing we can do is work on our own sanctity. The holier we become, the holier the world around us becomes. So we can make a great contribution. We can be instrumental in the moral and religious renewal of the world by becoming a greater saint. And we know this is what the Holy Father has been saying for years and years and years. Our times need great saints. Powerful examples. Powerful bright lights out there to overcome the darkness. And that has to be us, each one of us. This is the demand of the hour. There is no other way. Together with our covenant partner, we will conquer the evil forces around us and lead the world back to God. So this is what the Blessed Mother is challenging us to in this third demand, to become this great saint. Not for our own selves, but as St. John says, I sanctify myself for them. I become a saint, I strive to become a saint, and in the covenant of love, the Blessed Mother is going to help me to become that saint, so I can help in the renewal of the world, that I can actually make this world better. Because we know that every sin that we commit adds a little bit to the darkness and evil in the world. So every good that we do, every act of striving for holiness, for perfection, helps to overcome that evil in the world. And therefore the Blessed Mother says, this sanctification I demand of you. I'm just telling you, she says, what Jesus has already said. Be perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect.